Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George, and if this is your first time here, or you've been here before but haven't subscribed yet, please do so, along with turning on a notification bell so you are alerted when I actually go live or drop a video, like I just did. I went live today to recap the Sixers game from last night and to preview this game. Most of you probably haven't seen that, so I'll probably be discussing some of that tonight. The New York Knicks played the second game of a back-to-back, and they had to travel to Cleveland to do it. They played a team that had not played for 2 nights, and they were resting comfortably at home, and they were only missing one key player from their rotation, not even a starter, Ty Jerome. They were pretty healthy, but the Knicks were not. The Knicks were missing Mitch Robinson. He sat out because of injury management. He played last night, got 14 points, 14 rebounds, but didn't play tonight. And Cat, who sat out last night, did play tonight. And also, Knicks are still missing their top 3 point guards on the on the list there. Brunson, depth chart. Deuce is still out, and Campaign is still out. But we've gotten some good news about those players recently. You know, am I disappointed by this loss? Of course, I'm disappointed by any loss for the Knicks. There's no doubt about that. But I'm going to be really clear. This game meant nothing. It means nothing. It's impossible to try and decipher any true meaning of what this game, of what this team is, where this team is at moving into the playoffs. We saw them recently. They've taken care of business without Brunson, their best player. Do they gain something defensively when he's out? Yes, they do, but they lose a lot offensively. And we saw tonight, the Knicks came off to a great start. I was surprised. I thought, oh, this might be one of those games where they just rise above all the circumstances, including the refs, who put OG Anunoby and Cat both in early foul trouble in this game. You know, can they rise above it and build like a 20, 25-point lead and just hang on in the second half? Well, they built a 15-point lead, and it dwindled down by the end of the first half, and then the CAVS basically started they couldn't miss at that point in the second half. But the Knicks were able to tie the game, even with like 3 minutes left in the third quarter. They were able to tie it after giving up the lead and falling behind. So it was an interesting game from that standpoint. I don't have highlights for you guys. If you want highlights, there's just check them out. They're all over the place. I wasn't able to pull that together for you guys tonight. But again, it's impossible. It's impossible to glean too much from this game, other than the fact that when the Knicks are hitting their shots, they can really build a nice lead. That's the only thing. But when the shots dry up, when the offense dries up, and they can't get stops because they have dead legs, because second game of a back-to-back, I mean, what can you say about all this? And they're missing players. It's really not that confusing a game to analyze. But we're going to do it anyway. We're going to break it down. Let's go. Knicks lost by 19, 124-105. And that was really the third quarter and fourth quarter. It was really the fourth quarter. I mean, they just soared ahead of us. Unfortunately, Mikal Bridges, who has been playing incredibly well of late, tonight just didn't have it. In fact, I would put the majority of, if you want to call it blame, or how about this, responsibility for this loss, I would put it on these two and the coach. And the coach as well. Look at this. After the Knicks had built a nice 15-point lead, pretty much late in that second quarter, they let it dwindle down at the half. And then they were battling, kind of holding themselves, and then the CAVS just surged ahead. But the Knicks were able to close that gap and bring the score to tie it at 83 all. From that point on, the Knicks could not basically make a bucket. What did they score from that point on? 22 points. That was it. Meanwhile, the CAVS went on to score 41 points. So they were outscored. They were completely dismantled at that point. It's a bummer. It's a bummer because I thought actually when they were able to battle back and tie it right here, and then OG was going to come back in the game because of foul trouble, he had to sit out for long stretches. And Cat did come in and deliver some points, though he was trying to force it. And why? Why didn't he shoot enough threes? We'll get into that as well. But I had a feeling, I thought, oh, you know what, the Knicks might be able to pull it off. But the minute the fourth quarter started, they had nothing left. The Knicks barely could even score for the first 3 minutes, 6 minutes, actually 5 minutes of that fourth quarter. And that's when the Cavs just were able to soar ahead of us, which is a bummer, man. It's a bummer because I wanted to finally get a win, but I did not expect a win tonight at all. I thought it'd be kind of, false hope, to really think they could really expect to win. But any team can beat any team on any given night. So, when they got out to a 15-point lead, I was like, okay, hey, maybe they're going to surprise us all, But we're facing the Cavs. They're in their home arena, and Donovan Mitchell always wants to make a statement, especially against the Knicks, and he did. Man, was he something else in that second half. Here we can check out these stats. Before we get to these stats, let's look at these. Here's the team comparisons. The high scorers of the game were Towns, 25, and Donovan Mitchell, 27. Towns had 13 rebounds. Look, Precious Achiuwa got 2 blocks. Precious actually played a very good first half. I can't say that about the second half as much, but his first half, he definitely made an impact. And then whatever he was doing in that first half just kind of like disappeared. That was a big bummer. The New York Knicks, when you look over to the right side here, you can see they got out-rebounded. The assists were pretty limited, 24 to 23 with the Cavs. Steals, pretty similar. But the blocks, the Cavs definitely had an advantage there. They had a tremendous advantage in the paint. They outscored the Knicks by 12 in the paint, 64 to 52. And that is definitely Mitch Robinson's absence. Would I have preferred that Mitch sat out last night and Cat played last night and then Mitch plays tonight? Or we just sat out Mitch last night altogether and see if we can pull off that win without any big man? I think it was shrewd. It was a smart move to not let the Cavs get a look at what this team is like with Mitch on the court. And there's really specific reasons for that because Mitch has disrupted the Cavs before. He was one of the key reasons that we defeated them in the playoffs 2 seasons ago. I think it was 2 seasons ago. And why give the Cavs a look at him, a look at what this team is like with him without Brunson as well and without Deuce? Why? We're not fully healthy. Second game of a back-to-back. Nah, let them keep guessing. Let them keep thinking they can own us. That's what's happening right now. And I think in a way, it's going to work to the Knicks' advantage, is my opinion. Because what I'm seeing of late is a team that can really put it together when they're not exhausted. That's really the bottom line. And this team has been dealing with various levels of fatigue since mid-December. That's a while now. That's 3.5 months. They've been dealing with fatigue. Even to the point where you guys remember Mikal Bridges even brought it up. And then you heard KG and Paul Pierce talking about Thibs overworking guys, and then Channing Frye, original Knicks draft pick, even he was talking about that. It's a real thing. So I'm hoping that this is creating a false impression of what the Knicks are versus top-tier teams, because the narrative is already out there. They can't play with the top-tier teams. Okay, so far that's what they've shown. But they have yet to play as a fully healthy squad yet with Mitch and Brunson. So it's going to be completely different. So I'm not stressed about this loss at all. Would I have loved to win? Of course, no doubt. But the loss, it means nothing. Absolutely nothing. And if you're overreacting by this, stop. Save yourselves the agony. It means nothing. If you were hoping for the Knicks to prove that they can compete with these guys, it doesn't fucking matter until the playoffs. And if you think this matters now, if this is indicative of what's going to happen in the playoffs, you're going to be incredibly pleased. If the Knicks are healthy, It's only a few games left, only a couple weeks left. It's looking like it's trending back. And speaking of healthy, we got some good news about Jalen Brunson, which I did talk about in the pregame show. It looks like he's going to return on Sunday versus the Phoenix Suns. And that will give him enough games to be able to figure out how he can be the best version of himself while also allowing the other guys to explore that as well. Guys like OG Anunoby, who has become a beast of late. He was truly unbelievable, especially in that first quarter tonight. What did he finish in that first quarter tonight? He was outstanding. Anyway, we'll get to those stats. Cat is obviously dealing with the knee issues, and I think his hand is still bothering him, so he's not at the level that we want him to be at. But look, this is the frustrating thing about Cat. Why did he only shoot three three-pointers? He's facing a team with twin towers. Shoot the fucking three-pointer. Damn it. Why does Josh Hart shoot 9 three-pointers? That's insanity. That's insanity. He doesn't even like shooting the three. He hit a crazy buzzer beater once again. Like, literally, the shot clock was winding down. He didn't even, like, center himself, go up clean. He just jumped up. He was even drifting to his left, but he was so focused on the hoop, went right in. So that was awesome. The Knicks went cold. They got off to a crazy hot start from the three-point line at the beginning of this game, and then I think what were they, like 2 for 14 or something for the rest of the game after going like 7 for 12 or something, 7 for 9 or something like that. They got off to a crazy hot start. But here you can see 9 shot attempts from the three-point line for Josh Hart. He shot more attempts from the three-point line than Mikal Bridges shot for the entire game. Now, that is why I put this loss on Mikal Bridges tonight. He needed to stay aggressive, maintain that aggressiveness that he has shown us in the since Brunson actually got hurt. He should have kept showing us that, and tonight he did not. He did go once to the hoop, and he made the bucket, but that was it. After that, it was like fade away, and just passing the ball. He wasn't taking advantage of his situation on the court, and that hurt the Knicks because then the ball just kind of like floats around, and it ends up in the hands of guys like DeLon Wright, who was 1 of 5 from the three-point line, Landry Shamet, who played 33 minutes, almost 34 minutes last night, then tonight comes out and plays 26 minutes. I think his legs were a little dead. And you can see it in his shooting, 1 of 5 after, scorching last night. He had 20 points himself last night. So he was 1 of 5. Tyler Kolek continues to struggle offensively, though he definitely can play make for this team, which I love to see that. And I don't know why Thibs didn't go to him earlier when DeLon obviously wasn't looking that good in the second half. But again, that's the Thibodeau issue. And then you look at Towns. Like I said before, why only 3 three-point attempts? You're the best big man three-point shooter in the league, according to you. That should be triple. The three-point attempts should be flopped between you and Josh Hart. You should take 9. You might have hit 4 or 5 of those, and then we're talking 5 or 6 of those. I mean, you're a phenomenal three-point shooter. So that is a weird thing to look at and wonder, like, what were you guys thinking in terms of that? But he ends up with 13 rebounds, no blocks. The paint protection, the rim protection was non-absent tonight, and the Cavs feasted upon that. All right, let's go back to this. Here are the same stats here, but you can see Towns finished with the high man. He was 25 points. OG Anunoby finishes with 23 points. He totally ended up icing himself. He started off, he only scored 4 points in the last 28 minutes of this game. Let me show you this. Let me show you this breakdown here. Let me show you this. Oh, did I close something? All right. Let me show you guys this here. Sorry about this. Just want to get this together. All right. I thought I had it ready for you guys. Let's go back to it. Okay. So, OG Anunoby comes out in the first quarter, and, he's on fire from three. He hits both. 6 points for him. The Knicks scored 34 points in that first quarter. Nice, but they did allow the Cavs to score 28 points themselves. They hit 6 of 10 from the three-point line. We were 6 of 8. So you can kind of see that the lead that they built was fragile. It was fragile. But then when the second quarter kicked in, OG just exploded. Hit 5 of 7, 3 of 4 from the three-point line, 13 points to finish for the first half with 19 points. But as you can see, what did he get for the rest of the game? 24. He got 4. So he finished with 23 points. Totally. I mean, that's just that is a combination of the foul trouble kind of taking the aggressiveness away from him, and at the same time, and possibly fatigue. He did play last night. And he played really hard last night, and he was fabulous last night. So it could be a combination of those two things. Get back to here. You can see he picked up 3 fouls in that first half, and so did Cat. And then OG picks up his 4th foul immediately in the third quarter, right away. And again, that crushes the aggressiveness that he can play with. But Mikal Bridges only attempts 3 shots in the first half. That was a harbinger of bad things. Sometimes he does have like a hot quarter. He'll come out and have like a hot third quarter. So I was kind of hoping for that, but on the second game of a back-to-back, wasn't going to happen. The Knicks shot 59.5% in that first half, 47.6% from the three-point line, but only took 1 free throw attempt. That's right. 19 rebounds. So they looked good. They were up 7. They were up 7 at the half, though they were once up 15. Actually, let's look over here. You can see. So the Knicks were up 15 with about 3 minutes and 50 seconds left in the game. For the remainder of that second quarter, they just went stone cold. 1 of 4, 0 for 3 from the three-point line, and those were all Josh Hart. No one else even attempted a three-point shot. Towns, because of foul trouble, see, he picked up a foul here, and OG picked up a foul, so they had to come out of the game. So those last 2.5 minutes were played without OG and Towns, who are the 2 high scorers for the Knicks in this game. So where was their offense going to come from? Hard to judge, and that's why the Knicks were outscored by 8 at that point for the remainder of this game. Though I would have liked to have seen Kolek in here. Like, why wasn't Kolek here? He's creative. He could have found pressures on some cuts to the basket, but nothing. Cavs, then they proceeded to, they didn't go get crazy hot either. It was just more the Knicks were just stone cold. And the Knicks were committing turnovers. Here, there were 3 turnovers right there in that little 4-minute stretch. But then when you look at this, so from that moment on to the end of the game, the Knicks were outscored by 34 points. Wow. And OG could only put up 4 after giving us 19 before that. Josh Hart, 7 points, 1 of 6, 3 of 11. OG 2 of 7. This is, and Cat, because remember, Cat didn't play last night, so he had something offensively, but again, he wasn't getting the points in the best fashion for this team at the moment. Hit some threes, man. Take some threes. It opens everything up for the rest of the guys as well. He did get 6 rebounds in that during that period here. Actually, let me just keep this. This is the range that we're talking about here. DeLon Wright, an offer for the final 19 minutes of his play. Landry Shamet, and another offer for him in his last 15 minutes, 0 for 4. Precious gives us some buckets here, 7 points. 2 rebounds. Again, this was a much better game for Precious than last night. Last night was horrific. And at late, he's been frustrating. He's very frustrating to me. But Josh Hart is incredibly frustrating to me. Towns, 7 turnovers during the stretch. I think he finished 3 turnovers. Sorry, 3 turnovers during the stretch. He finished with 7 turnovers. That's really what happened. So in that third quarter, the Knicks got sloppy with the ball. and they couldn't get any possessions going. So then they couldn't get that flow that they had developed early on in the game was completely disrupted by their lack of focus. And they were just giving the ball, literally passing the ball right to a Cav. I mean, that's going to shoot you right in the foot right there. You're not going to have enough to respond by that point because you're giving them easy buckets. How did this turn out over here? Let's see. Second chance points. Knicks did win that battle 23-14, so that's cool. Fast break points was pretty much even right there. Okay. Let's go back to this here. So this is the first half now. Yeah, let's go back to this. Precious played 21 minutes, 13 points for him. Shamet, only 5 points for him, and Kolik only 1 point. The other guys played during garbage time. No minutes for PJ Tucker, who has come back onto the team with a 2-year contract. I think he's going to be a trade chip along with Precious during the summer, and maybe one of these other guys. If some big name there was rumors about Kevin Durant. I mean, we'll see in the summer. But that's for the summer. That's to worry about in the summer. Josh Hart finishes with 19 points, but he needed 19 field goal attempts. That is terrible efficiency. Terrible. Here's the plus minus. You can see minus 15 for Wright. Only minus 4 for Kolik. Minus 14 for Josh Hart. Minus 14 for Anunoby, minus 18 for Bridges. Bridges' lack of aggression in this game was just horrific. There was no chance the Knicks were going to win without him having a big game. Let's look at this. Let's look at it this way. Okay, so Josh Hart was able to give 19 points, but they were off 19 shot attempts, so that's very inefficient. I would rather half of his shots had gone to Mikal Bridges tonight. Now, Mikal Bridges could have ended up with 20 tonight. And then Josh Hart, he gets his like 12 that he normally gets, or 11 that he normally gets. DeLon Wright, his offensive game kind of like abandoned him tonight. And we don't have much of an answer at this point because, without Deuce or Campaign to give us some offense, right now Tyler Kolik is struggling offensively with his own shot. So I didn't really expect too much. This was going to be a tough game to win. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It would have required Cat. This is how the Knicks could have won this game. OG he does what he did, which is great. Josh Hart takes less shots. Maybe he gets you 10 points, 12 points or something. But Bridges, he gives you 25. And Towns gives you 35. Knicks win. That's pretty much it. But they couldn't get stops on the defensive end, especially in that second half. And at times it just looked like Knicks were just sitting ducks. They were just going to get. Here are the Cavs stats. You can see Mobley, 13 points for him, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 of 4 from the 3-point line. Jared Allen, he made 10 of his 11 field goals attempts. Wow. Outstanding. 32 minutes, 21 points for him, and he had a tremendous block on Towns right at the hoop, and he even did the Mutombo finger wag while he was still down on the ground. Garland was not much of a factor in this game. 17 points. He needed 15 shot attempts for that. But Donovan Mitchell, outstanding game for him. 10 of 18, 3 of 7. He had some big 3-pointers. 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 27 points for him. Strauss, not much of a factor as well himself. But DeAndre Hunter comes in, punishes the Knicks again from the bench. That's why they got him from the Hawks. 16 points for him, 6 of 11 shooting. And Okoro, look at this guy. Okoro, 1 of 6 from the 3-point line, but still connects with, delivers 11 points in his 23 minutes of play. Here are the team stats comparisons. Even though when you look at the final result, the points conceded off turnovers, 23-22, it's pretty even. But during the stretch when the Cavs came back and fought back from being down 15 and then taking the lead, and then the Knicks were able to tie it at 83 all with, 3 something left in the third quarter. At that point, the Knicks had given up. I think they were a minus 10 or something in points conceded off turnovers. They were able to kind of recapture those points later on, but in the end, it amounted to nothing much. Largest lead for the Knicks was 15. Largest lead for the Cavs was 21. All right. Again, this game means literally nothing in the grand scope of things. If you already believe this Knicks team can't compete with the elite three teams, then this didn't change anything about that. But if you're basing your opinion about that on this game, that is a mistake. This is not the Knicks that you're going to see in the playoffs. It's not at all the Knicks you're going to see in the playoffs. So you cannot judge it that way. I like the idea now because it's already happened. It's already happened. The Knicks have already lost too many games against these top three teams. If the Knicks had won this game, would it really have changed the narrative much? Nah, I don't think so. I don't think it would have done anything. Now, maybe if they win this game, win the final game against them in the season, and they beat the Celtics, then maybe that starts shifting the narrative. But that was going to be a tall order with the second game of a back-to-back, and the Knicks missing Mitch, who is their Cavs killer, and they're missing their best scorer, Jalen Brunson. Plus, they're missing Deuce McBride. So it was going to require a tremendous heroic effort from these two guys to have made up the difference. Actually, if they had just scored whatever they have on their chests, Knicks win this game. And they can do it. But on the second game of a back-to-back, for Bridges mostly, Cat had rested. That was a lot to ask for. So, don't worry so much. This doesn't change anything. If you were hoping for a miracle win, at least you can glean some kind of positivity from the fact that this depleted, tired team that played the night before and traveled to Cleveland was able to build a 15-point lead to begin with. So that is something. The fact that, that totally got shut down and they lost by 34 points the rest of the game is demoralizing. But again, the Cavs are the number one team in the East for a reason. So, I'm not panicking at all. Not panicking at all. Nothing has changed. This game doesn't change anything in terms of how I feel about this team now. I do believe that this team has discovered something, especially with OG just playing like a madman. Did the foul trouble take him out of his mojo? Yes, it did. I think the refs were not that good tonight. But again, OG's got to fight through that. This could be a good learning experience. I'm sure the coaches are going to talk to OG and say, hey, yo, you got into foul trouble, but don't let that affect your game offensively. You got to figure out a way to still be aggressive and dominate on the offensive end without, getting yourself fouled out. It shut him completely down. But again, second night of a back-to-back. So, all right. Thank you so much for watching this. Again, my name is George. Please subscribe, hit the thumbs up button for me, and drop your comments. And remember, Jalen Brunson is coming back. And we heard that Deuce and Cam are very close to coming back as well. So, a fully healthy squad, Knicks squad, may finally happen on Sunday. Ooh! But that's a back-to-back as well. We play Atlanta on Saturday. Crazy scheduling. Okay, I will see you around the Knicks-Verse.